All right. Let's watch Professor Dave. Don't forget, okay, guys?
I love Tesla.
All right.
Hey everyone, you've all seen me mock flat earthers more than a few times, but this ridiculous cult has recently gained an unexpected member in the form of Candace Owens. She's really been dazzling the internet with her stupidity lately, so let's check it out.
God,
in case you haven't
Professor
heard of
Dave.
Candace, she's a conservative political commentator and
invading
total
army is so
nutjob
strong.
whose ridiculous positions go far beyond supporting Trump, lying about vaccines, and whining about Black Lives Matter. After working for conservative
Candace.
propaganda outlets like
Candace.
PragerU and the Daily Wire, she went off on her own and now pumps out high-octane garbage on YouTube. Now, I've actually talked about Candace in passing a few times before. The first
What's up,
time was in my
Tired?
first video about a
Appreciate you,
Piers Morgan
Tired.
segment, which was mainly about Terrence Howard, but also brought up a ridiculous rant from Candace about science being a pagan faith. Let's start things off by
yeah.
examining the 10-month-old video that rant came from so that we can get some
pagan
context.
faith.
And then we will get to a more recent video.
Wait, isn't pagan and faith, isn't that anathema? Aren't those opposites? Can pagans pagan believe in the old god. Sorry, I'm messing it up, right? Atheist is no god, right? Can pagans go to heaven is a good quest. Wait, can pagans wear crosses? Let's see what AI says about that. Yes, many pagans do wear crosses, particularly Celtic crosses, which have a history predating Christianity and were used in pagan sun worship. Okay, I was fucking that up. That's my bad. I was thinking atheists, not pagans.
Where she
My bad.
complains
My bad.
about the You Go Girl Blue Origin flight with Katy Perry and friends. Just so you're aware, this video is called The Shocking Satanic Origins of
read
NASA.
on. I saw
Kind
that.
of
The
sounds
Bridget
exactly
McCrone
like a
stuff.
flat earther, huh? Let's take a look.
Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen, I am in trouble again. Why am I always in trouble? I'm trending on Twitter for saying something unsayable. Look at this number one
Mike
trend.
Tesh.
It reads, Candace
100%.
Owens rejects Earth theories, faces backlash. How am I
boy.
ever going to survive this? But also, I have to admit that trend is kind of cool because...
Dude, Candace is like, if you want like a prime example, the perfect example of how to grift off of the right, Candace Owens, she should give, you know how Andrew Tate had that whole human trafficking website, allegedly? Allegedly. All right. He definitely did. Candace Owens should do her own style of that, where she teaches people how to grift off the right wing using conspiracy theories. I don't know why these people... Wait, does that already exist, guys? Does it exist? That would explain a lot. Is there a grifter university? Holy fuck, I should start that. That's $1 million idea. God, I should definitely start that.
I love Tesla.
Yeah.
I'm trending under science, and that is a first. It's got me feeling like CO the science
I'm
gal.
such a bad girl. I have to say allegedly after everything.
Christ
Mountain
is
bike.
king.
Christ is king.
You know you've hit rock bottom when your attempt to entertain and persuade people genuinely looks like an episode of Tim and Eric. Her attempt to satirize a popular science communicator involves just saying, Christ is king, and patting herself on the back for no reason. This is the level of intellect we will be dealing with throughout this video.
All right, so whenever I'm trending over something that's just not that big of a deal, I know that there's something the establishment wants to hide. It's called a media overreaction.
Kind of like how conservative pundits never shut the fuck up about trans people? Got it.
Monday, I did this whole long episode about why I am now rejecting the cult of science. So many things that they lied to us about.
Professor
Vaccines,
Dave,
birth control, people that are being injured, and we just accept everything the experts say.
You uniformly reject everything that experts say. That's how you became this complete joke of a person that denies literally all of science. Stop pretending otherwise.
And we're sacrificing our own bodies. It just feels strange. It feels wrong when you look further in the history.
Oh my God,
they
these
just
people are
keep lying
psychotic.
and getting away with it. What I said was that science has become a pagan faith. Yes, that's what I actually believe. And
Why
I
does
said
it
if
have
I
to be
don't get it
pagan?
from the Bible and I can't observe it with my own
Why
eyes,
are the
I
pagans
don't stand
being-
it as the truth.
Why are they
What
being
an
targeted?
immaculate display of the mentality of a cult member. Who is they? Every scientist in the entire world? What are they lying about? No concrete examples, of course, and then
Yeah,
a
we're not
remarkable
gonna get too
contradiction.
much into the
if she
details.
can't get it from the Bible and can't see it with her own eyes,
'Cause it's a
nothing from
non-politics
the Bible
day,
can
Sean.
be seen with her own eyes, and yet she blindly believes it, while rejecting empirical science that
Hey,
can
Hassan
indeed be
wasn't
seen
nutty.
with her
It was
own
just
eyes. She's
a
just too
strange
lazy
video.
and stupid to look.
I'm starting to see a trend that every time you start talking about the Bible, you start talking about God, you start talking about spiritualism, and recognizing that America and the West is an anomaly, that there are spiritual forces that are working on people at all times, the media panics.
Wait, what? Are there spiritual forces working on me like right now? Like right now?
Because the media, in my view, is a bit satanic.
I think I felt
genuinely
it.
believe
I felt
this.
it, guys.
Religious nut jobs just can't handle the fact that the world is becoming increasingly secular because it reminds them that they are deluding themselves. They need absolutely everyone to believe not just in God and creationism and prophets and miracles, but their specific God and creation myths and prophet and miracles. They pretend that the cold, dark
push the
world
button.
is intolerant to their bright, shining faith, when in actuality they are intolerant towards anyone that knows how infantile they are. They engage with stories and
shit.
concepts like literal toddlers who believe in scary boogeymen in the dark and who need an omnipotent daddy figure to take care of them and tell them what to do,
Or
and then
Matt-
act
George's
offended that
Trump.
the rest of
They like
humanity
Trump, too,
has
as
progressed to at least a
fucking
kind of
daddy's home, bro.
adolescence where we are ready to take responsibility for our own actions and learn something concrete about the world around us. They refuse to leave this developmental playpen, and it's pathetic.
The origins
has
of
proof.
NASA
It's a burning
are
bush.
satanic. And I went, what? What are you talking about? And OMG, you guys, buckle up. What I'm about to tell you.
You know what she reminds me of? Okay, and I know she came before Brett Cooper, but her mannerisms and stuff looks like she copied fucking Ben Shapiro's twin sister. Her mannerisms and the way she talks and stuff, like, because she didn't used to talk like this, right? Like, I don't remember seeing Candace Owens like this on Fox News and shit, right? Is this, I mean, okay, I'll readily admit I don't watch much Candace Owens, okay? So maybe I'm wrong about this. But it looks like she stole Ben Shapiro's twin sister's shtick, dude. I mean, with the fucking laptop, with the pictures. I mean, she doesn't have like the 16-year-old's room behind her. I'm going with she stole
You're
it.
not even going to believe me, but you can just research this.
No, I definitely won't believe you because Satan isn't real.
No,
He's
don't
the
die.
boogeyman in the story
die,
you
Anna.
believe because you have the intellect of a toddler. An evil force ruining the plan of an omnipotent deity who just can't
She's
get rid of
adapting
his
the
enemy
game
for
grift
some
market
reason.
share.
Totally
Nice.
believable. Anyway, she now goes on a long rant
Ben
about
Shapiro
Aleister
ruins
Crowley,
everything.
Jack Parsons,
Oh.
satanic rituals,
Mother fatty.
dirty sex stuff, and pretending that NASA exists basically because of these few people alone.
Thanks,
Was
Ross.
an occultist who pledged his allegiance to
In an hour.
demons. He routinely practiced sex rituals. He believed in masochistic and
Wait,
sadistic
have you guys not
sex.
seen Brett Cooper? Is that her name? I'm probably going to get her name wrong. It's probably not Brett Cooper. Yeah, it is. Boom. Guarantee it's on here. Guarantee it's on here. Here we go. Oh, wait, you guys can't see that. God, how do I make it bigger? Here we go. Can you guys see that? I need a bigger one. Can we just click that? Okay, there we go. Oh my god. They're twinsies, dude. They're twinsies. They're 100% twinsies, guys. Can I should just Google a video with her. She's actually not that bad. She's like, oh, here we go. Oh, perfect. Oh, man. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that is amazing. Oh, that's a thing of beauty, guys. Oh, my God. Oh, that's amazing. Ben and his female variant. Ben into the Shapiro verse. Oh, man. And Ben has his own X-23. Oh, man. Abby Shapiro in a picture. Ben gaslighting himself into not enjoying the movie. Ben Shapiro. Oh, man. Oh, man. Bring your daughter to work day. Oh, no. Oh, God, that's amazing. That's almost as good as Fit Korean Jesus, dude. Almost as good. Almost. Oh, okay. All right. Back to the video. That's what I'm talking
believed
about.
in free love. And he's the man who made rockets a reality and co-founded the agency's Jet Propulsion Lab. NASA would later consider that
eyebrows are different.
Which happened
Barely
again on Halloween, to be the first rocket experiment.
There's no point in listening to all of this. It's just the standard propaganda technique of pointing at one person that will seem unsavory to her demographic and discrediting entire fields of science or institutions by association. John Money bad, therefore blah 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 trans is bad. Werner von Braun lived in Nazi Germany, so NASA is Nazis. Jack Parsons was a weirdo, therefore all of NASA is based on Satan stuff. A classic tactic.
Stuff.
In reality, NASA was founded in 1958 primarily in response to the Soviet Union's launch of Sputnik in 1957. Eisenhower didn't want the U.S. to fall behind with regards to space technology for reasons including national security, and he established NASA as a civilian agency rather than a military one, believing it would be more effective for space exploration. Immediately upon forming, it had 8,000 employees that it inherited from the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. Anyone fixating on one or two people as the basis for the formation of NASA is an idiot.
That reported that he chanted Crowley's hymn before he lit his rockets. They're just chanting satanic, demonic hymns before they lit these rockets, guys. This is not a joke. This is not a test. This is history that is hiding right under your nose.
Nobody cares, Candace. Nobody cares. If something works in science, it doesn't matter what you chant before or after demonstrating it. Whether it's all hail Satan, all hail Jesus, or all hail Tom Cruise. It has no effect on the science, nor does it tie the achievement to any religious group. Rockets work because of science, and there were people all over the world working on rockets. So you can stop pretending that rockets are the product of Satan himself, because again, he's not real, and people who use...
Wait, and why would Satan, be so... Why? Why would Satan... Why would he be so pro-rocket? Is he pro-red rocket? Is that what it is? Is it just because they have fire? Why would he be pro-rocket? That's so fucking weird. These people will leave nothing untouched. Everything has to be a conspiracy. Nothing can just be normal.
Rockets today don't care that a few people who worked on rockets in the past were a little weird. Although, honestly, worshipping Satan is not any weirder than worshipping the genocidal asshole god of the Abrahamic religions. Sorry.
And the naked pregnant women that were dancing through fire in the garden. This is totally normal stuff, guys. It's just, coming up with NASA and jet propulsion, you sometimes got to have a naked pregnant woman dancing in the garden through fire.
And sometimes when you're a fundamentalist Christian, you have to lynch black people and bomb abortion clinics, or generally do some of the most heinous things in human history. Apples and oranges, right, Candace?
There you have it, guys. That's the origins of NASA and the program, the jet propulsion program, we're going to make it to space mission.
Oh, because all the conspiracy theorists love Operation Paperclip. That's what it is. Okay, I get the connection. They all love Operation Paperclip, and they love to talk about the NASA scientists that came from the Nazis. The craziest thing to me is that they're not as concerned about what the Japanese scientists did during World War II, which was actually even more horrific than what the Nazi scientists had done. But the conspiracy theorists they're not quite aware of that. So it's not important to them. It's just the Nazi ones, just those guys. Just that's it. That's the only ones they care about. It's like my main problem with human beings, especially human beings that are conspiracy theorists, is you don't need to take it much further than saying that the government are a bunch of assholes for forgiving the crimes of German scientists or Japanese scientists during that time in the hopes of using the knowledge that they gained from doing horrific things to people. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. It's just, that's bad. We shouldn't do things like that. We definitely shouldn't let people get away with the shit that they did because they have some knowledge. That's, morally speaking, I don't mind if it sets us back 50 years. Just being 100% with you. If it sets us back 100 years on moral grounds, not a fan. But also, doesn't need to be a Satanist cult. Ebola of the Red Rocket.
But don't worry. It would be totally crazy for you guys to think that Satan worshippers are still involved in NASA. Obviously, after it got started, they went totally clean. Everything has been above board. Nobody believes in this stuff anymore. And everything's great and everything's normal.
A story about like 3 people is totally the story of all of NASA. And of course, nobody else at NASA today worships Satan, you guys. Don't be silly. I'll just vomit up some sarcasm, implying that everybody at NASA worships Satan and be on my merry way. How dumb do you have to be to fall for this stuff? And what about the dozens of other space agencies in other countries, Candace? They're all devil worshippers too, I bet. Even in this alternate reality where absolutely every last person who's into rocketry is an evil demon, would that somehow make space fake and the Earth flat?
Science has become a bit satanic. They're telling you to do things that are utterly satanic, sacrificing your children.
Wait, what? Did I not get that email? I don't think I got the email about my children.
Name of science because it's just a clump of cells.
Guys, I was told like 5 years ago that 5 years from then I was gonna die because I took the vaccine. That's what I was told. Yet here I am, still the same angry ginger that I've been the whole time. And there they are, crazy as fuck, and nothing like what they used to be 5 years ago. I'd just like to point that out. The same people that 5 years ago were telling you that the vaccines were going to take all these people out and it's shedding, bro. It's going through the air and fucking people are, you don't even need it. Have you been to the VERS site? Those people are batshit fucking crazy now. And I'm here just going, what the fuck is this fucking timeline that we live in? I think the proof is in the pudding. Or the vaccine. I guess the proof is in the vaccine, I guess. It was in the vaccine. Fuck, man.
Getting weird out there. And I'm sorry that I notice. That's all I'll say on that topic.
Yes, science is totally asking you to sacrifice your children. That wouldn't actually be your imaginary God who told someone to sacrifice his child and then took it back at the last second, like a fucking sociopath. It wouldn't be you science-denying morons rejecting vaccines that are causing children to die of diseases that we had already essentially eradicated.
Hold on, mountain bike. You say now, they were crazy then? Okay, so this is the basis of my book, and one day I'm going to get to write my book. In fact, we're going to start doing research streams, so you guys better fucking show up for those. All right, where we're going to do research on all this stuff. My theory is that, because I know people that were genuinely pretty good people, that were Bernie supporters, hippies, total people that would show up to gay rights, gay pride parades and stuff like that became fucking insane after COVID. And I legit believe that because of the adversity that certain people were unable to deal with during COVID, that they fucking broke. And that's why we're here today where we're at now. Like, I mean, I think that it was a building process for sure. And we can go all the way back to the Red Scare or even before the Red Scare to kind of, you know, figure out where the focal point was, where it began. But I 100% believe that there were people that maybe they weren't the most sane people. Maybe they already had some problems. Maybe they were dealing with some mental issues, whatever it is. But 5 years later, like, so I have a podcast that I've never released because a friend of mine's wife went full QAnon, right? So she went full QAnon, and I asked him if he'd have a conversation with me, and he was like, yeah, for sure. And it was supposed to be my first podcast ever. And I sat down with him, and we had this great conversation about all these different things that he experienced watching his wife go from this, like, you know, LGBT loving hippie lady to being this QAnon conspiracy theory lady that believed that being gay is a government conspiracy to depopulate the earth. That's what she believes now. And so I was unable to release that episode because he was afraid that she would lawyer up and try to sue him for defamation. So he didn't want to go through the legal battle of it. He said even if he could fight the case, that he didn't want to. He had just got done with the divorce, so he was like, fuck that. I don't want to do this shit again. But he watched a person go from being a person that would 100% hate Donald Trump, fucking hate Donald Trump, enemy number one, would go to gay pride parades, fucking all of that stuff, turn from that person into a person that now thinks Donald Trump is the savior of the universe and has these batshit crazy theories about gay people. I know that it sounds crazy, but I think that certain people broke. I think COVID broke people. I don't think that people came back. It's just like, actually, I mean, I know you're joking, Golf, saying the bad acid thing, but like there used to be a guy in my neighborhood where I grew up that would talk to his hand. His name was Ralph, and he had taken bad acid and he just never came back. Right. I was just talking to a guy the other day who was saying him and his buddy went to a gas station and bought salvia, and they were there with that guy's girlfriend, and they all smoked it. And he said for like a few minutes he was fucking crazy, and he was like, whoa, I never want to do that again. And he said the girl had went into a closet and smoked it, and she started freaking out and screaming and couldn't get out of the closet. Sounds like a problem for many conservative Republican senators. But this wasn't Lindsey Graham. But she couldn't get out of the closet. And he said from that day on, he was like, she was never right. She was always, something was just off about her, that she was fucked up. And I think when certain things happen to the brain, I talk about it a lot with sports, with UFC, with football, CTEs, the same thing, traumatic brain injuries. I do think that, I don't remember if I told you guys this story or not, but I was talking about the traumatic brain injuries, and my boss was talking about how they knew somebody that knew somebody, or they knew somebody, and the guy was the nicest guy, fucking one of the nicest people ever, and he was engaged to get married to one of their friends, and he fell off a deck and hit his head, and he, from that point on, like, he had a concussion and shit, and he was an asshole. He was just like a raging asshole from that point on. And it's like the brain is a fucking very sensitive instrument. And we don't do enough to take care of it. And we poison it all the fucking time. We don't take care of ourselves. We do wacky shit. We put our brain in jeopardy. And then we all wonder why, like, society is as fucked up as it is. And I believe that it's because mental illness is real. We need better mental health care in America. Trump just defunded that, but we need better. We need to take it more seriously. We need to take traumatic head injuries more seriously. Because I do believe, I believe 5 years ago, certain people that were more sane are way fucking insane now. I think it's crazy. I think some people obviously were insane back then too. But I also think that COVID did break them.
You're a joke. Anyway, we're now going to move on to some more recent comments from Candace. But first, let's pause for a brief message. In this post-truth era...
Believe me, there's a lot of people out there that are like, fuck you think there's something wrong with me? It's like, yeah, I legit do.
It's tough to stay informed. Whatever's going on in science or politics, there are so many narratives being spun. How can you be sure that a particular news source is reliable? For example, we're going to talk about this Blue Origin flight in a moment. How was it covered in the media? You could read 100 sources and compare, but who has time for that? The solution is ground news. Ground news gathers related articles from all over the internet and provides you with context about each source's political leanings, reliability, and ownership, so that you can quickly get the bigger picture. For the Blue Origin story, ground news turns up a whopping 560 sources. We get the breakdown of their political leanings. We get a bias distribution. This one seems pretty balanced, though leaning slightly left. Ground news provides some bullet points as a summary, and then we get to the headlines. Each one is accompanied with information about the source, who owns it, a factuality rating, and more. In this case, most of the stories highlight public backlash, priced down to about $5 a month. That's ground.news/PDE, or just scan the QR code on screen and subscribe today. Okay, back to Candace. Now, I did say that I had mentioned Candace several times before, and apart from the Peers segment, we also talked about Candace with regards to the final experiment, where some flat earthers went to Antarctica. Here's a quick refresher.
This guy messages me, and this is what he says. His name is Will Duffy. He said, I heard you recently talking about the flat earth versus the globe debate. I'm a pastor from Colorado, and I've created something called the Final Experiment. It's a trip to Antarctica this December.
Oh, that guy.
And for all. It would be really cool.
That would be amazing.
George joined us in Antarctica. But if not, I would be more than happy to come on your show to talk about it.
And I'm very excited to announce that although Candace Owens will not be able to go with us, she is sending her director with us, and she will be reporting on our trip this December through her director, who will be her boots on the ground in Antarctica, reporting back to her whether or not there was a 24-hour sun or if the sun rises and sets each day. Super cool.
If you'll recall, the trip did take place, and everybody in attendance did indeed see the 24-hour sun, including Candace's underling. Presuming she understood perfectly well what the stakes were, we should all assume that Candace now conclusively understands that the Earth is a sphere, right?
No, she didn't care about that.
Let's move on to a more recent video streamed on April 17th of this year.
In other lady news, we have to speak about this Blue Origin space mission, okay? Because... women. Sometimes we can just be such women, you know? It's like we're crying on a bed.
Oh, guys. Oh, I'm appealing to my base so hard right now. Women, you know. Women are crazy, bro. Aren't they crazy? Sometimes as women, we be crazy. Oh, ha, ha.
Her husband goes for a run, and we think he's going to just be taken out in the middle of D.C. by some hogs that don't live in DC, you know? And this is kind of what this mission was, because it was just really annoying in all the ways that I didn't want it to be annoying.
Okay, I have no idea what she's talking about with
Candace
the hogs
Owens is
in
annoying
DC,
in all the
but
ways,
let's get
so
something out of the way right up top. Was this Jeff Bezos-funded mission silly? Sure. Was it a blatantly pandering girl power marketing stunt? Yes. Could the tens of millions of dollars spent on this have gone instead to feeding hungry people or something more noble? Sure. Obviously. But the backlash is way out of proportion.
100%.
Corporations spend limitless amounts of money on advertising all the time. Why not complain about every single ultra-expensive Super Bowl commercial and ask why that money isn't being used for something better? Why not complain instead about the bottomless pit that is the American defense budget? It's $1 trillion. I'm not being hyperbolic. It's literally $1 trillion. What could we do with that money instead of terrorizing the world with neocons conservative foreign policy. Let's put the outrage into perspective, people. That money was spent on a little space trip should not really be at the top of our list of concerns, even if we were to limit our concerns to bad things about Jeff Bezos alone. And while the girl power thing is a little silly, the outrage towards some random women who went to space is 100 times sillier. Some famous women went up to orbit for a few minutes as a PR stunt. The achievements of astronauts were marginally trivialized. A few young people became a little more interested in space for a second, and we were reminded that commercial space travel is on the way. It's barely a story.
And they decided to launch 6 well-known women into space. Here's a picture of the ladies
I'd say
that
4.5.
are going to space. Looks like it could be the cover
1.5 of those people I
a
didn't know
Spice
about.
Girls album. I love it. Okay. Who went to space? It was Gail King, former NASA scientist Aisha Bowe, Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos' soon-to-be wife and journalist, research scientist Amanda Nugan, and Katy Perry. So you gotta have a pop
I like
star
that
in there.
Katy Perry
Plus
gets
film
thrown.
producer Carrie
And Katy
Ann Flynn
Perry
is there. And they promoted this as the first all-women space flight because the only other time that a woman went to space, the first was Soviet Union cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova. She was the first woman in space. She made a solo trip back in 1963, and she spent 3 days in space. She circled the Earth 48 times, and then she landed herself as a feminist icon. Then they just made it super girly. Like, okay, but like, what about the fashion? The Lauren Sanchez got together.
But what about the fashion?
And decided to design the Blue Origin suits in collaboration with Oscar de la Renta because, like, they have money. So they got the creative directors of Oscar de la Renta to design these fantastic suits that were tailored to their bodies because these aren't your regular astronauts. These are hot astronauts. These are babes, okay? When we do science, we make it hot and we make it girly.
Hold on, is this her show? God damn, this is such brain rot. Oh my god. Like, I'm willing to say that the whole thing was out of touch, so I'm willing to, like, fucking hear some criticism of it, but god damn, this shit is brain rot. Who the fuck watches this?
Who cares? Who cares about any of this? Some women went to space for a minute. Who cares? They had cool-looking suits. Who cares? Some of them are arguably attractive. Who cares? It's
Katy
obnoxious
Perry.
women-hating rants like these, ironically often coming from conservative women, that continually stir this
Jesus
pot
Christ.
and generate more artificially feminist stunts like this for conservatives to complain about. Can we whine about identity
Russians?
politics
Probably
informing the
Russians.
cast of a Star Wars movie? Yeah, to your buddy over a drink one night, I guess. It's not something to broadcast all over the world as though it actually matters. It doesn't.
Oh,
Get a
fuck.
life, Candace.
You ain't wrong.
1, 2, 3, take up space! Come here.
It's fucking goofy. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? It's fucking goofy. I don't know. Like I said, is it out of touch? 100%. Am I mad at a bunch of fucking women for, like, being happy? No, I don't really care about that. Like, that's good for them. Good for them. I'm not gonna be mad about that. I just think it's fucking out of touch.
Tamir's in space.
Congrats to them. I'm actually, like, fucking jealous, okay? Congrats to them.
Flynn, I gotcha.
Clamdus.
I gotcha, Flynn.
Gotcha. Proud of you.
It's like essentially a TikTok party, right? It's like a girly sleepover party. We can come out of this.
See, it just kind of sounds like she's enjoying it. She's trying to hate. Like, I don't think she's 10 toes down. I think she loves the grift. I think she knows, like, she just has to say the same stupid shit. And these fucking, 65-year-old white men that watch her will eat that shit up because they're like, that's right, I know a black person, I watch Candace Owens. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it's like a TikTok thing. It was a PR stunt which you are currently amplifying. Some woo girls did
call.
woo girl stuff in space.
time.
The end.
Woo girls
what would
did
you
woo
have
girl
done
stuff.
up there, Candace? Would you have recited some epic monologue that poetically puts all of human history into perspective?
Exactly, Pinkerbell.
No, I bet
It's
you would have said or
fucking-
done
it's
something
total
really
picking
stupid
shit.
that other people would then make fun of on their podcasts.
I just feel like all of the female astronauts that are going to go up today, it's such a big day in history and it's so empowering, especially especially my daughter is 7, and just to see something like this.
Let's hate on the
my daughter's
7-year-old?
only 2, and I didn't even share this with her. I feel ashamed of myself.
What the fuck is up with their sense of humor? It's like their sense of humor is also broken. Their brains are broken and their sense of humor is broken. Like, how is that funny? Like, why are we hating on some lady saying her 7-year-old daughter was like, this shit's dope? What the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, you've been victims this whole fucking time. You're constantly sad. You've made $1 billion fucking dollars off the mental illness of MAGA. Why are you hating on this lady saying her 7-year-old was fucking excited? I don't get this shit. What is wrong with these people?
She's so right. I just want my daughter to know that someday you can be launched with your super wealthy friends and you can get a $7,000 bag. You just have to know the right people. And celebrities will be waiting for you on the ground when you get back. And then we're going to tell people that you made history.
Look, I'm not
no
against
shit.
poking fun at rich people, but the way Candace does it just irritates me.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I think these people are broken. Because there's so many things that we would agree on. We could talk about the billionaires being out of touch. We could talk about Palantir being bad. We could talk about cool conspiracy theories like whether or not the aliens built the pyramids. Yet we don't get to talk about any of this because these people are fucking mentally broken to the point that if you say, yeah, it would be pretty trippy if the aliens built the pyramids, they're like, would be? Fuck you talking about, brother? They did! Candace Owens told me, she showed us the proof.
What have you
It fucks
done in your
everything
life
up.
that matters, Candace? What kind of a role model are you
It
for
sucks.
women or humans in general? Have you cured any diseases?
the new
Have you
normal.
invented anything incredible? Have you created
I bet she spread a couple diseases. Probably new ones.
inspiring works of art? No, you spread lies to make money on the
Manny,
internet.
no,
the
I
world
would
would be
believe
better
it.
without
I
you.
would believe
if
it.
you want to make fun of Katy Perry or the Kardashians, go right ahead, but you are worse. Anyway, it's time
She
to
is
pivot
worse
from the
than-
dog shit social commentary.
Damn, Dave, wow. Dave hit it on the fucking head. She's worse than the Kardashians. Damn. But he's right. That's a sick burn. Professor Dave, okay.
Terry, to the bona
I see
fide
you.
science denial.
But here's my bone to pick with Matt Walsh. We have a long running beef on the
Oh, dude, who? Okay, solid question. Who would pay $99.99 to watch Candace Owens fight Matt Walsh? By the way, fair fight, okay? Like, I'm going, actually, odds are probably Candace Owen is the favorite. I'm going Candace Owen is the favorite in that, okay? Matt Walsh couldn't beat up like a 4-year-old. Matt Walsh has no chance in a fight with anybody. I mean, like, my wife's Chiweenie dog could probably take Matt Walsh. I'm 100% sure the Chiweenie dog could take Matt Walsh. I'd pay for it.
topic of NASA and moon landings because he thinks they happened. And listen, when the guys did it, it was fake and gay. I'm sorry, Matt, and it's time for you to admit it. It was just as bad. You just weren't alive for it, okay? Homies were on the moon making phone calls before the time of cell phones, like, hey, what's up, Prez?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's how I feel, Professor Dave. That's actually how I felt.
That's right. According to Candace, space is fake and gay because astronauts couldn't have called the president from the moon. This is the first talking point she decided to bring up because she's a complete moron. Hey, Candace, it's called a fucking radio signal. Did you know that radio is a thing? And did you know that it's utterly
Why are
trivial to
these
connect a
people
radio
so
transmission
dumb?
to a telephone line? Even funnier than not knowing how radio works is the implication that NASA is so stupid that they conjured up this idea that there
Like,
should
you
be a
have
phone
to
call,
try to be
even
this
though that
dumb.
would tip off the public about the landing being fake.
He's 6 foot tall. He has the reach and weight. I don't know, though, dude. I don't know. I think the Chiweenie still takes him.
Because no can have phone lines on moon. The stupidity is breathtaking.
Oh,
Okay,
my
you must
God.
come to terms with the fact that NASA and space missions have always been this fake and gay. You just weren't alive for the original ones, and you need to learn the history of NASA, of the Apollo
Wait,
program,
neither was she.
which were occult and satanic. It was literally meant to be an antichrist movement to make people believe in man.
No, the point of NASA was to build rockets to go to space, which is why they did that a bunch of times. Saying fake and gay over and over again while crapping your pants about fictional characters doesn't change that.
Okay, I can't do it anymore. I have to go eat tacos. I made a mistake. I picked Hasanabi talking about traffic for 20 minutes, and then Candace Owens just fucking making me depressed about the future of humanity. This was not a solid pick. I'm gonna own this one, guys. My bad. My bad. My bad, guys. Let me apologize for the videos I picked tonight. I don't know. It was a long day at work, guys. I'm tired. I've been up since fucking like 3 this morning because I couldn't sleep. I'm sorry. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I picked the worst videos. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. This fucking country is faking gay, dude. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and check out that video on the screen now.